Good morning, and welcome. I'm so excited to be doing this webinar for maternal mental health and focusing on this population. I'm so excited that you have chosen to spend this time with me. And again, the questions will come at the end. So let's just jump in and get started. All right, so our objectives for this webinar is that we're going to break down the barriers in maternal mental health and in motherhood. Some of the barriers that can get created is just some of these myths that are floating out there, and we'll go over those myths more specifically throughout the webinar. And I do want to remind everybody, this webinar is not just for uh, females who are new parents. This also includes adoptive parents. It also includes non-binary parents and transgender parents. There are terms now that are being used to describe some of these new populations that are in our maternal mental health, and it's either birthing people or it's pregnant people. For the purposes of this webinar, we are going to be using the term mother. All right, so let's just jump on in. All right, so becoming a mother, just think about it. I just want each one of you, some of you may already be moms or new parents, or some of you may be thinking about becoming a parent. I just want you to think about some of the pictures that you imagined when you were thinking about becoming a mother. And for those of you who are dreaming about becoming a mother or thinking about becoming a new parent, keep in mind what you're just naturally drawn to in your mind of what you picture, okay? So becoming a mother, there are a lot of expectations versus reality. So when we think about becoming pregnant, we do start to imagine how our lives will be with the new baby. And it's perfectly to think about the perfect baby, to think about how you're going to care for your baby. You think about how you're going to decorate the nursery, what the name you're going to call your new infant. And all of these are normal, and it's really wonderful. We also think about, how the birth is going to go. A lot of times, when you meet with an OBGYN or a midwife, you may have a birth plan. We think about what we're going to eat, what we're going to read, even playing some music for the baby. And we think about how we're going to raise the baby. And all of these thoughts and desires are perfectly natural. And of course, we dream of having no issues. And again, this is natural. However, when reality versus expectation sets in with a new mother, they maybe go to places in their minds that I made a mistake. I'm not cut out. And so that's the barrier of the expectations versus the reality. It starts creating some of those cognitive distortions for moms. All right, so let's jump on in with the myths. A good mother gives birth naturally. I myself am a parent. I have a 20-year-old and I have an 18-year-old. So I thought I'm going to do everything naturally. And I did go with a midwife and I was going to do the water birth. It did not happen that way. I ended up with having to go to a hospital an hour and a half away and delivered. And my son was a preemie. So everything just went out the window. So all that natural stuff didn't happen, even though I wanted it to happen. And so a lot of women, we dream about this. And of course, we want it to be a beautiful experience. We want it to be this experience that we're going to treasure and remember forever. So, like I just mentioned it a little bit ago about the birth plan. So you may work with your midwife and you may work with your gynecologist and whoever, thinking I'm going to have some kind of music playing during the birth. I'm going to set the mood, and this is what's going to be going on. And then a lot of women may get disappointed. Wow, I did not expect this much pain. I wasn't planning on asking for an epidural. Now I'm asking for one. What is wrong with me? I didn't expect this. So there can be some panic going on just in those moments. So just in that myth alone, there can be just this this expectation of nothing's going to go wrong. Everything's going to be fine. But yet maybe labor is 24, 36 hours, and they weren't expecting that. So it's okay to plan for all these wonderful things with the birth. Do it, be excited about it, and have a more balanced approach going. And there may be there may be some unexpected things going on, okay? All right, so the next myth, instant bonding. We've all heard that myth. Oh, you're going to feel you're never going to feel love like you felt before when you give birth. You know, so envisioning like this moment, and you're holding your baby, and you're just swelling up with overwhelmed with love. Most women do not experience that have that experience. And let's just kind of think about that. Going off of what I just talked about, perhaps that the labor was very, very long, very painful. Perhaps some other things started to come up. And so the mom is physically exhausted. When I gave birth to my second, and I was able to give birth, a water birth that time, I was so physically tired, I could not hold my baby. And I immediately felt guilt because other people, family members were there. Why don't you want to hold your baby? I physically couldn't hold it because I feared I would drop my baby. It had nothing to do with how I felt about this new person. And so there can be a lot of disappointment that comes into play when a new parent, a new mom doesn't experience that instant bonding. Oh my gosh, what I was expecting this. So again, that disappointment. Bonding takes time. It's a new person. You're bringing a new human into your world. Of course, you need time to get to know your baby. Your baby's going to, your baby's going to cry, right? That's how the baby's going to communicate. But you got to give time to know what these different cries means, okay? Because the cries sound different for different things. And so it's a getting to know you process. It's an adjustment period, okay? So even with this balanced view, the new mom may experience some disconnection. And I just want to read off the slide here with that star there. If you're experiencing a continued and deepening concern regarding your idea of connecting with your baby, please talk to a healthcare professional, okay? So if you're continuing to feel that a little bit of detachment, that disappointment kind of seems to be growing, and it seems to be lasting longer than 2 weeks, please let your OBGYN know. Yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next myth, breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is easy and natural. No, it isn't. It just isn't. Yes, we've been doing it for thousands of years. But it's just not easy and natural. Sometimes the baby can have a little issue with their tongue, and they may need to have that little space under their tongue. I'm not exactly sure what the doctor does, but they need to have that worked on. Other times, it can be very painful for the woman. Perhaps her nipples are inverted. There can be a lot of rawness, and it creates a lot of pain. And then there's also the issue of why isn't my milk coming in? And I am bringing a lot of anecdotal stories because I do have them. With my son who is a preemie, I got very wrapped up in why isn't my breast milk coming in? And of course, when the first bit of breast milk is that colostrum, so it's not going to be a lot. And that colostrum is important. So what was really wonderful was having the healthcare professionals talk to me and explain to me about what breast milk is, what's in it, and pointing out to me, yes, you are doing a good job, new mom. Okay. However, if the new mom is still having problems, sometimes they may feel like they are reaching out to a lactation technician. And sometimes, and I do want to put a note in here. Sometimes healthcare disparities do come in here. A lot of times with people of color, a lot of times people of color, a lot of shame can come in that they feel like they can't breastfeed, and they're having some natural issues going on. So I just want to, if you are talking to somebody about breastfeeding, please be mindful that there is some disparities in the healthcare field when it comes to really talking and reassuring all moms about breastfeeding. A lot of times, moms go, I want to do the best thing for my baby. And so that can bring up a lot of sorrow when they're not able to breastfeed. So talk to them, reassure me. reassure the mom. It's like, yeah, it is disappointing, isn't it? And hey, here's what we can do, okay? Perhaps you can pump some more. Perhaps just for a little bit, you can do some formula feeding. Maybe you can do a combination of bottle breast milk and natural feeding. You know, there are ways around this to bring in that reassurance that, hey, mom, you're still doing a really great job, okay? So let's all move to the next myth. So we've talked about some emotions already that could come up, like disappointment, some sadness, perhaps some thoughts of going, why is my body betraying me? I didn't expect this. So a myth that motherhood is a happy time. Really, let's bust that. Of course, it's exciting to think about bringing a new baby into your family unit and doing all the steps with decorating the nursery and picking out the clothes and the names and all that kind of good stuff and all the extended family coming and wanting to see. However, there are a lot of emotions that mothers experience. They're human, okay? When we choose to become a mom, we're taking on a new role, okay? That doesn't mean we stop being human and stop living a human experience with feeling all the emotion. Just take a little glance at the slide, and you could just see the emotions that are popping out: calm, sad, angry, energetic, afraid, worried, bored, thankful, lonely, hurt. There are a lot of emotions. So I really want to read this one. A good mother always loves being a mother. That's not true. For any of you who are parents right now, really to just tap in and going, have I been happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, X amount of years? The answer is probably no. And that's okay. We're human, right? So adjusting to motherhood entails learning a whole new set of skills, set of life skills. We have to learn to feed. We have to learn how to change diapers. We have to learn about bathing a newborn, skincare, just to name a few. Learning how to put your newborn in a carrier, and if they're preemie, you have to do little extra steps with a little extra stuffing in the car seat. So it's all these skills. So that can create a lot of worry. That can create a lot of anxiety. Oh my gosh, did I put my baby in this car seat right? So it's very natural that some worry and some questions are going to come in. Did I do this right? Oh, is that outlet safe? Did I do I have the batteries charged for the baby monitor? Okay. And then, you know, and I just want to pause on the CPR because I've seen this in working with some new moms. Um, Sometimes learning infant CPR can be a little difficult for new moms. They start imagining and visualizing doing this on their newborns. So, you know, be reassuring that it's okay, it's okay. All new moms have to learn this, and this is a good thing to learn this, okay? So remember, for this motherhood, we are picturing all the beautiful things and all the things that we desire. But let's keep a more balanced approach that we are human, that we're taking on a role of motherhood, and of course, we're going to have a wide range of emotions. All right. Mothering is natural. You'll know what to do. Kind of like that giving birth is naturally. It goes back to mother's been doing this for thousands of years. No, again, you're learning a whole new set of skills. You know, you're adjusting to your baby's cries. So you're learning how your baby is communicating to you. Okay? So a lot of times, you know, the statement, I don't know why my baby's crying. I can't calm my baby. I can't soothe my baby. And a lot of times, maybe some babies develop colic. My son did, and from oh my god, from 7 until almost 11 at night, he just wanted this motion, and I had to figure that out. So all new parents, new moms have to go through this, you know, learning stage. And so, of course, you're going to run into barriers. I don't know what's going on with my baby. If you're trying everything, you're walking around the neighborhood, you're taking your baby in cars, and nothing is helping, call the pediatrician. There could be some physical issues going on, okay? All right, let's just move along. A good mother does it all. So this is absolutely false. A lot of messages that we receive from from society that, a healthy mom can just do everything. A healthy mom asks for help. Let me say that again. A healthy mom asks for help. And when a mother is struggling, let's reassure them, you're still doing a great job. Let's help you. Let's figure out how I can help you. The perfect mother is just, it's this one just, I think you can kind of pick up on me. It kind of really, gets to me. I try to tell people when they're scrolling through Facebook and social media, think of what you're posting there. Those are just a moment of times, and they may also just be fake. Okay, they also may be staged. So really keep in mind that you're seeing what somebody's purposely wanting you to see. You're not necessarily seeing the reality of somebody else's life. The myth of the super mom can do everything. Go back to work after 6 weeks and be okay and still cutting all these deals and everything. No, we're human. It's still an adjustment period. There's still a lot going on. So society really needs to get back into, our society really needs to get back into understanding that this is a time that a new family is building together. All right, let's move on. Myth, you won't miss your life. Some people may feel guilt. Gosh, I'm missing my freedom. I'm resenting that this new human, I'm at this new human's beck and call. I can't even take a shower like I did every day. I'm still wearing sweatpants 6 weeks later. Just all those little things. Of course, you're going to miss your life. It's perfectly natural. It's okay to grieve it. It's okay to grieve a loss of freedom. And even when you do get a chance to go out with your friends, or possibly on a date with your spouse or your partner, perhaps your mind's thinking about, oh my gosh, I hope everything's all right with the babysitter. So it's perfectly natural. Okay. All right, let's just talk a little bit about what maternal mental health is, and how some of these myths can really create a lot of distress for new moms, and some dysfunction going on for them. Postpartum depression versus baby blues affects about 60 to 80. Baby blues affects about 60 to 80% of new mothers, and the time lasts between 2 and 2 weeks. This is normal, okay? Hormones are just, the placenta has been removed, you've given birth, everything is going on. So your body is recovering, hormonally, your body is recovering from doing a huge feat by giving birth or a C-section. And so there's a lot going on. It usually peaks about 3 to 5 days. There's tearfulness, reactivity, exhaustion. You're mostly happy. The self-esteem is intact. So even though you may be crying, but your self-esteem is intact, your worth is intact. Mood is not related to stress or prior psychiatric history, okay? Let's move on. I'm not going to read through these, but I just want to say major depression, DSM-5, and the next slide is generalized anxiety. It looks the same. It looks the same with new moms. However, it may be expressed differently. The new mom starts pulling away from the baby with depression. The new mom may be less in tune with the baby's cues. The new mom may start relying and asking more and more, hey, could you take the baby? Could you do this? So a lot of that pulling away. And also a lot of guilt could come in, and also it can look like anger, and could be snapping at the partner. And if there's other children in the home, could be snapping at other children. And then, oh my gosh, what am I doing, right? Generalized anxiety, that poor concentration, a lot of worry. Let's just use COVID. Germs. If somebody is, really, really afraid, oh my gosh, I can't go here, I can't go here, their mind just starts to spiral. And if this is going on for more than 2 weeks, there's something going on. So postpartum mood and anxiety. And I'm going to go through some of the areas with postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. There's postpartum depression, there's postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD, and postpartum psychosis. According to the Journal of American Academy of Pediatrics, every year more than 400,000 infants are born to mothers who are depressed. We're doing something wrong. We're sending the wrong messages. Think about the myths I just talked about. Postpartum mood and anxiety. 1 in 7 women experience this, and 1 in 10 men experience postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. Postpartum, they do not discriminate. They can impact anyone, and socioeconomic status is not an indicator that somebody is going to experience postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. This slide, I'm not going to go through it. You can read it, or you can print out the handout. These are some of the topics in Sierra Tucson's virtual IOP postpartum program. It's part of our whole mental health program that we have here. And this is just one part of it. And these are some of the topics that we address that do come up with people who are experiencing postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. So let me just talk about some case examples. I'll talk about one that was from our virtual IOP program. We had a mom who loved to do everything naturally, and I supported her on this, and it was really great. She came to us because she was experiencing some depression. This was her 5th child, and she was doing okay. And what was really great about this is that she was able to kind of pinpoint going, okay, everything that I'm doing is working. And throughout some of the presentations from our naturopath, some of the presentations from myself and from our medical director, she eventually moved into a space and going, my depression is getting worse. And so she actually reached out, contacted a psychiatrist, got on some medication, and her mood started to improve a little bit. And then she really, and every time that we gathered for the group, I would check in with her on her mood, and she'd go, yeah, my depression isn't speaking loud today, and I'm feeling kind of good about being a mom right now. And so that was just really wonderful to hear. Another case example, is OCD, and I'll just go through this real fast. OCD with postpartum are a lot of those intrusive thoughts and scary thoughts. Women can heal, and those intrusive thoughts can be managed. Okay, I noticed that we're running out of time. So I just want to wrap up that if we as just lay people, as therapists, as professionals, just create a more balanced approach for messages for all new moms. I think that we may see a little bit of decreases in a lot of those infants being born to those depressed moms. All right, so I want to open up to any questions. Does anybody have any questions at this time? I'm trying to figure out how to look at any questions if there are any. So I have a question. So how can you help? I just want to go ahead, please utilize Sierra Tucson as a resource. However, Postpartum Support International, PSI, you can Google that. You can look for maternal health providers. They have the listings on local areas all through our country and internationally So that's a really great place to start. If you really see somebody who's struggling, reach out to us, but that's also another option. Also, how can you help? Just saying, there's meal trains for, perhaps developing some meals for the new mom, doing some laundry and stuff like that. Okay, so I just want to say thank you very, very much for joining us today. And this was exciting. And I hope that you feel more confident in going out there and sharing a more reassuring and balanced message. Thank you very much.